briefly, Odanga. Power is never given. Power is fought for, right? It's taken pretty much. And one asks the question, understanding how political parties play their games, right? Are the young people ready to take that power? Because no one will sit here and see you threaten my position and say, Baba, come, let's sit and have a conversation. You have to get into that space, get dirty, and fight for that power. But then again, you look at many young people who've been voted into office. They have let down the country. There's a conversation that we must have. So as people who want to get in, how do we change the story? Because many are saying, hata upigie a young person aingia pale. Yeye pia ataingia pale, be corrupted, soko itabaki kukua chafu.
That's why I said we just need to change our mindset and understand that we must love our country. So that if we get into these positions, Kenya is at our heart. Because, like, I agree with you, we also have fellow young people who have had the opportunity, and when they got into these offices, they were even worse, more than some of these people in the system we are talking about. So I think it's an issue of building a culture of responsibility and good leadership, because we are going to get into these offices, we are going to fight for it, but do we really stand for our nation? So that we not just also here saying we want young people to take over leadership, and then after 2027 young people take over. Like, I know of a governor somewhere who is of a youthful age. By the time he got elected, there was a lot of hope that he was going to transform his county. But the man has turned the county into a hell to an extent they're even wishing they had the old man who was there before. So in an issue of really, do we as young people love our country? Or are we also fighting for a chance to eat?
Do you?
Yeah, I do. That's why
do you fight to eat or fight to love the country?
No, I will tell you, we must fight to love our country. Because if we have a country that is orderly and has a culture, each one of us will benefit. But if you have a country whereby even we young people, we are not fighting because we want to bring any change. We are fighting because it's also our time to eat. It will be a culture of eating, and there's nothing we are going to do to turn this country around. So I think it's a time we as Kenyans, a good example, I say, if you go to South Africa today, you see a proper controlled traffic, because they love their country, they understand the order. If you come to Kenya, it is totally opposite. As you are waiting for the traffic lights, you see your colleague like as if he has not seen the traffic light. That draws to how are we cultured as Kenyans to understand leadership. Because you will find a situation whereby young people will also make noise. We have young people who have been elected into very critical positions, but they have ended up even doing worse than the predecessors who are there of a different age group. So I think what we are asking for and what we need to do as young people is we also need to understand what is leadership, what are we stepping into, and what do we want to achieve, so that we don't step in and, because most of these old guys keep saying young people cannot be trusted with leadership. You entrust them with leadership, they will turn out to be more worse. And if you look at the 2022 parliament, has a good number of young people in terms of representation of members of parliament. We've not seen them come out aggressively to push for bills and agendas that will secure the jobs of our fellow young people. So that brings the question is, are we also prepared to take up the mandate of